Event Stream Future Forecast, July 2025. Mars takes command. The pulse of action, the choice of consequence. To stand still in July is to burn without purpose. To move with will is to set the world ablaze, not in destruction, but in devotion. July has arrived within the 28-day cycle of the 13 Immortals, and with it, the power, the passion, and pulse of Mars ignites the event stream. The Immortal of devotion and courage. Mars governs not by ruling from afar, but by moving forward first. The one who dares to act before certainty exists, whose priority is always presence in motion. Mars takes number 7 in red. His strength, devotion and courage. His weakness, lust. His mission, enforcement and endurance. And his treasure, prosperity. The lesson, his priority. And his elemental domain, fire. The game effects. Momentum takes precedence. Players and people alike must decide fast, act boldly, or risk falling behind. This is the Warriors Month, not in terms of violence, but in terms of action with integrity. Mars teaches that even chaos can be conquered through commitment, that prosperity comes not just from dreaming, but doing, that strength is a virtue only when guided by honor. July belongs to Mars, the immortal of dedication and glory. He prefers to be a conqueror, not a leader, the one who fights with passion fueling purpose. As the immortal of willpower, Mars now takes the helm of the event stream, and with him comes the rising heat of decision, reaction, and consequence. We are now in the 7th month, the number of endurance, conviction, and claiming territory, not in land, but in time, truth, and soul. July will bring friction, challenge, and momentum. The world will feel like it's racing forward and breaking apart at the same time. But Mars offers a path, 2 paths, in fact. The path of war and the path of renaissance. The theme of the collective mood, if it's the war path, outrage, impulsivity, and tribal division. The renaissance path, passion, channeled into noble causes. The theme of global events, with the war path, armed conflicts, escalations, tech weaponry, explosions, rebellions, and cyber strikes. With the renaissance path, bold reforms, courageous truth-tellers, healing protests. Personal shadow theme, lust, domination, aggressive control on the warpath. Within the renaissance path, devotion, protection, inner fire alignment. With the theme of power dynamics during the month of July, the warpath will bring forced obedience, manufactured consent. Within the renaissance path, brave choices, voluntary sacrifice for good. And lastly, the theme of Mars activation within the warpath, fight to win against others. Within the renaissance path, fight to serve something greater. You will see both in July. The forecast is not a prediction, it is a map of will. What the world chooses collectively is up to each individual now. Now Mars does have a message to the player. Do not let anger become your compass. Let your devotion guide your aim. The world will burn in July. You decide what for. Rise, not in wrath, but in rightful purpose. The future isn't waiting, it's charging. One will be chosen. All are possible. Your choices will decide. Within the Immortals' fire, each will contribute to Mars's crusade. The sun of order and perspective brings clarity to chaos, illuminates the hidden agendas behind the fire. Support offers divine perspective. See with righteous eyes, not inflamed ones. The moon, compassion and awareness. Calms emotional overreaction, offers mercy during conflict. What this supports, it teaches pause before action, feel before you strike. Then Saturn, discipline, and performance. Well, grounds the energy, brings accountability to reaction. Supports demands results. Do not burn out. Build through the heat. Then Jupiter, expansion and activity. Fuels the movement, adds momentum to Mars's mission. Support unleashes the why. This fire will light the world if aimed correctly. Neptune, vitality and truth. Channels intuition, helps you discern manipulation from inner truth. Support purifies the flame. Let your fire speak truth, not rage. Mercury, success and tools. Supplies the blueprint, turns fire into function through tech and communication. Support equips the crusade, sharpen your sword with strategy. Pluto, entertainment and discernment. Warns of distraction, offers the mirror of the shadow. Support tests temptations. Is your fire yours, or was it sold to you? Venus, service and harmony. Protects the heart of the mission, guards against corruption. The support anchors love. Fight for something, not just against. Uranus, authority and enlightenment. Challenges lawless fire, demands higher justice. The support reigns in chaos. Courage means standing for principles, not pride. Star, legacy and influence. Spreads the movement, broadcasts courage, or inflames hysteria. The support amplifies the signal. Be the echo that awakens, not the one that destroys. Shadow, discovery and integrity. Offers silence, reflection, and counsels restraint where fire would consume. Support deepens the soul. Your silence may save more than your shout ever could. Villain, adaptation and competition. Provokes war, forces Mars to prove if this fire is real. The support sharpens the mission. The villain doesn't fear your power, he fears your purpose. Now there is a disclaimer. This forecast is a symbolic, harmonic reading of the timeline. Actualization depends on collective resonance. Number 1, explosions or sudden strikes. Whether symbolic, stock drops, political implosions, or literal military infrastructure. Number 2, revolutionary courage, whistleblowers, bold acts of truth, citizens' uprisings. Number 3, sexual and ethical scandals. Lust and loyalty will be tested in powerful figures. Number 4, a fire in the mind. Innovation explodes if properly channeled. And last, number 5, divine anger. Nature itself may erupt in response to unresolved tensions. Now, how do you harness July? There are 4 cardinal commands for humanity. 1, ignite only when the aim is pure. Number 2, protect what matters, even if it costs you ease. Number 3, challenge what burns unfairly or blindly. And number 4, endure the heat long enough to forge something new. July calls to players of Genesis. The fire has arrived. This is not a drill. This is the trial of your will. You are being watched, not by governments, but by time itself. Will you burn the world down out of fear? Or will you light the way to the future? The Renaissance is here, but so is war. Choose your path. Choose it now. Within the Elemental Hypertech model of reality, time is a living, responsive force, consciousness as the driver of manifestation, and choice as the transmission switch between war and Renaissance. Remember, the villain's turn was exposed through reactive consequence. Mercury's turn began the innovation age, activating karma and pattern awareness. July, under Mars, is about enforcement, will, courage to act, and the burden of devotion. A karmic ignition point tied to the model is arriving. The first week of July carries the weight of prophecy, pressure, and worldly consequence. July 5th, a shadow looms over Japan. Foretold disaster ripples through the collective subconscious, igniting fear and freezing movement. The prophecy is not the event, the reaction is. July 8th through 9th, economic fault lines tremble, trade battles reignite. The world negotiates with fire under the banner of liberation. Mid-July, a convergence of AI infrastructure, nuclear energy, and consciousness technology reaches a critical mass. This is the Elemental Hypertech inflection point, the moment Mars merges with innovation to test our ability to wield fire, not as destruction, but as design. This week is a karmic ignition. The sky does not fall, but what we ignite during this window may light up the next century. A synchronized elemental hypertech ignition sequence beginning around July 5th, where prophetic, panic, economic contraction, and hypertech fusion combine to create a collective will tipping point. This is the moment when elemental consciousness may shift the probability field, our moment of greatest responsibility. Mars awakens the fire. Elemental hypertech activates the pressure. Combined, they define a probability pressure window in early July, the pivotal crossroad. July's choice. There are 4 possible tokens of Mars. Number 1, Phoenix, the myth card with protection. Symbolism, rebirth through fire, sacrifice as strength. The collective chooses to transmute pain into purpose. Now, what to watch for? Sudden crises that do not destroy, but unite. Grassroots rising, not rebellion, but resurrection. Truth flames that cleanse rather than consume. If chosen, humanity shields itself by rising above the old forms. The fire becomes sacred. Mars becomes the guardian, not the aggressor. Number 2, the hero card, protection and assassin. Symbolism, one must strike, but also shield. The hero acts with precision, not rage. And what to watch for? A prominent figure takes bold action, or is removed. Strategic rebellion, surgical truth, not wildfire. Secret protectors step forward. If this card is chosen during this month, a single action shift 1,000 timelines. Mars leads with calculated courage. Mars becomes the protector and purifier. The third card, which is the warrior card, protection and block. If this card is played, boundaries are drawn. Defense becomes the new offense. The fire is forged into armor. What to watch for? Borders, physical, digital, emotional, are reinforced. Communities create strongholds of clarity. AI and tech barriers rise, for good or control. If this card is chosen, we see the lines that must not be crossed, and we finally hold them. Mars becomes the wall of fire, unyielding and honorable. The fourth token card for Mars is equipment. Give a character protection. The symbolism, the sacred arming of the worthy. Mars doesn't act alone. He prepares others. If this card is played, what to watch for? Empowerment through education, tech, tools, and memory. The awakening of new defenders, healers, builders, teachers. Massive disruption of tools of protection, real or energetic. If chosen, the people receive the weapons of wisdom, the armor of truth. Mars becomes the forge, arming the future. One of these Mars tokens will be revealed in July, but the collective will of humanity determines which. Let us guide others not by saying which card will be played, but by living in a way that summons the best one. Now, for the final seal of Mars's forecast, the trial of fire, the rise of will. And so July begins, not with a whisper, but with the heat of responsibility. Mars stands at the gate, not as a destroyer, but as a keeper of fire. He is no longer the god of war, but the immortal of devotion. the one who dares to act when no one else will. And now he does not march alone. The battlefield is no longer lined with soldiers. It is lined with citizens, creators, and truth speakers. This is not a war as we knew it. This is Renaissance by fire. The token of Mars has not yet been played. Whether it is the phoenix, the hero, the warrior, or the equipment, it will be chosen by you, by what you protect, by what you ignite, by what you are willing to endure for what matters most. This is your chance to become the shield. This is your chance to become the flame. The villain is watching. The future is listening. And Mars is asking only one thing of you. Do not waste this fire. Because if July teaches us anything, it is this. The world doesn't burn from evil. It burns from the silence of the good. But not this time. Not this July. Let July be the month we choose to protect the future. Let it be the chapter where Mars no longer fought for survival, but stood for destiny. The trial of fire has begun. Let the token be chosen. Let the will awaken, and let the phoenix rise. And to all who play, may your courage define this timeline.